Oprah Winfrey. Really? Maybe. You know, there's this, Oprah gave this incredible speech at the Golden Globes, and it really animated a whole lot of people, including Ivanka Trump. I would submit to you, and there's this huge discussion going on in the media, it's happening on our Facebook page. We posted about an hour ago that we were going to discuss this topic, and some of the people who have commented, interesting things to say, things like Beth writes, I think her greatest asset would be she would really get the best people in place. Her consultants would actually be the, quote, best people. Her staff would be brilliant, and she would actually listen to them and act accordingly. She's a great diplomat and a thinker. The upside, right? Dave writes, Obama and Bernie had experience in government before they ran for president. They put in the work. How about someone who understands how government operates? That's the downside. David Huffman writes, Oprah's great. Let's leave her where she belongs in the entertainment industry. This whole mess started when we thought it was a good idea to elect an actor for president. Yeah, we did that in 1982, and it didn't work out so well. At least for America, it didn't work out so well. I mean, it worked out well for really rich people. But, so would you like to see Oprah as the Democratic nominee in 2.5 years for president? My take on this is that we have been, since somewhere in the middle of the George W. Bush administration, when things really started unraveling, when we all realized that George Bush and Dick Cheney and basically the entire Republican Party had lied us into 2 wars. They lied us into the war in Afghanistan in as much as they refused to take Mullah Omar's offer to arrest bin Laden and turn him over, and instead said, no, we want to bomb the crap out of your country. And people are still dying in Afghanistan. In fact, there was a big bomb explosion in Kabul yesterday. 15 people died. People are dying literally every day in Afghanistan as a result of George W. Bush's decision to use war instead of international police mechanisms, number one. And number two, he lied to us about the war in Iraq. I mean, literally just completely made up that stuff about Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction. Obviously, he had them at one point. Ronald Reagan sold them to him. But, we had all these UN inspectors, Hans Blicht, Scott Ritter, all these guys running all over the country for years and coming back and saying, there's absolutely nothing here. There's nothing here. So what happened, in my opinion, is that Americans, facing the extraordinary level of lies that had come out of the Bush administration, not to mention another, a massive tax cut for the super rich, which, set up the crash of 2007, deregulation of the banking industry. I realize most of that happened in 99 and 2000. But, the bottom line was that by the middle of the second term of the George W. Bush administration, most Americans, and I'd say including probably the majority of independents and certainly all the Democrats, or the vast majority of Democrats, had come to the conclusion that, this professional politician, George W. Bush, and Dick Cheney, who had been in Congress for years and years and years, the professional vice president, was a bad idea. Now, George W. Bush didn't present himself as a professional politician. He liked to, he bought that pig farm in Crawford, Texas, and converted it into a I don't know what you call it, a show place, because he always lived in a fancy schmancy place in Dallas, I guess it was, or Houston. But he needed a prop, just like Reagan needed a prop when he was running for president. And he got it, he kept it, but we all figured out that we really needed somebody other than George W. Bush or one of his buddies running the country. And I think that Barack Obama in 2008 then ran essentially as the outsider. In fact, I would submit to you that that was the main reason that he beat Hillary Clinton in the primary, and that he, you know, and that he won election twice in 2008 and 2012 because he was perceived as an outsider. He was, you know, hope and change, right? Change means, you know, we're not doing what they've always been doing. So Oprah is an outsider, right? Would she be the person? Then you get the people who say, but wait a minute, she doesn't, you know, she's not a politician, she doesn't understand legislation, blah, blah, blah. Well, yes and no. I mean, she's never run for elective office to the best of my knowledge. She's certainly never held it, as far as I know. But she has been very involved in politics for you know, years, decades. She knows how politics works. She has lobbied politicians. She has participated in political campaigns. She did a great job campaigning for Barack Obama. And I believe she was campaigning for Hillary Clinton as well. So, you know, so there's that, right? I mean, you know, maybe she actually could, because I really think the country's still in this we want an outsider moment. The thing that I'm not sure about, and I really don't know about, is Oprah's politics. Would she run and or govern? I mean, you know, if she's running as a Democrat, there are certain assumptions that you can make. But would it be more of a Hillary Clinton Democrat or a Bernie Sanders Democrat? Or let me put this in more general terms. Would it be more of an FDR Democrat or a, say, John Kennedy Democrat? Or a Barack Obama Democrat, for that matter? And if so, if she runs, could she pick up the independent voters? Or is the fact that she's a woman, which certainly hurt Hillary Clinton, you know, 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. Is the fact that she's a woman, or is the fact that she's African-American, you know, and you put those two things together, is that way too much of a double whammy? Or maybe not. Maybe America is just sick and tired of old white guys. And, you know, a lot of Americans are sitting around going, you know, we could do this. I mean, the old white guy thing, you know, sort of, you could argue, you know, the country has survived 230 some odd years of that. But has it really been optimal? I mean, the robber barons and the law and the wars and just everything that has gone on. So, you know, I think that you can build a case for Oprah. I think you can build a case against her. You know, there's a lot of good Democratic politicians who are working their way up. Kamala Harris, you know, was what was she, Secretary of State in California, as I recall. She was on this program a couple of times. And now is the senator from California. I mean, that's, you know, so working her way up. She's African-American. She's female. You know, her politics are, quote, moderate, but I think that, you know, she might do a great job. You've got, you know, coming out of the Progressive Caucus, a bunch of people. I doubt Mark Pocan is going to run this time around, but you never know. A gay man. You don't, you know, so what options are you seeing out there? Who would you like to see run for president on the Democratic side in 2020? Because we got to pick this person in the next 6 or 8 months. You know, there's a bunch of them that are starting to position themselves. Obviously, Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. Who's on your short